Moksha karana samyagryam bhaktireva gariyasi svasvarūpanusandhanam bhaktirityavidiyate. Moksha karana samagryam, among the instruments and cognitions necessary for liberation. Bhakti, devotion. Eva, alone. Gariyasi, most important. Svasvarūpanusandhanam, contemplation of one's own nature. Bhakti iti, as bhakti. Abhidiyate is designated. Among qualities conducive to liberation, bhakti, devotion, holds the supreme place. Devotion is defined as seeking one's real nature. Namaste. So this is the end of the section detailing the qualifications for attaining self-realization. And bhakti is given the highest place. Of course, bhakti, as it's defined here, is a little different from the conventional description of bhakti as developing love of God in some form, or a relationship with God where one attains one's real nature, svarupa. That's why in this verse, the revelation or the recognition of the nature of the self is called svasvarupa, the original form. That means beyond form, beyond identity, beyond qualities, activities, and senses, beyond the mind. In other words, the self, Brahman. So this is attained by devotion to the self. In Ramana Maharshi's cave in Tiruvannamalai, there was an altar. And on the altar, besides the usual articles of worship, the central focus was a mirror. Not a statue, not a deity, not even a book. A mirror. In other words, worship really means discovering who we really are, what we really are, and that is the self. Not some identity with name and form and qualities and activities and so on. That is only temporary, has to be temporary, because the whole universe of form and name and qualities and so on is destroyed at the end of the Mahakalpa. So any identity that is realized as a part of form is going to go away at the time of devastation. That may be a long time, but still, it's not forever. Whereas the identity of the self never changes. That's because it's not in name and form. It doesn't have qualities, activities, and desires. It is always the same. Unconditioned, unbounded, even by time. This is the self. This is what we are to realize. Now, the next section, beginning with the next shloka, is going to be a story about how the disciple approaches the guru. And we see that he approaches him physically, not through some medium. He doesn't write letters. He doesn't send videos. He approaches physically and directly serves the guru And once the guru trusts him, which traditionally is supposed to take about a year, then he can put relevant inquiries and the guru will answer. So that's why I always tell people I'm not a guru, because I don't have any disciples. No one has approached me. No one has served. No one has done the preliminary purifications. So there is no disciples. And only the disciple has the privilege of addressing him as guru. He is not anybody else's guru. He's only the guru of his disciples. So being a disciple is not a cheap thing. One has to earn it. It's a privilege, not a right. Everyone can study the Vedas, but only a dedicated disciple who has devotion can approach the guru.
Om Tat Sat, Om Shakti